Should I now proceed as a craftsman and build a temple out of bricks and marble columns?
No, of course not. When we say every place in the world should become a temple, that means everything from the hut to the palace has to be transformed. But this is not achieved by physically demolishing the buildings and rebuilding them. That is of no use. We have to do something completely different.
The spirit of the new world, namely the cosmic order, must move into every house, however it is built outwardly. The temple is in spirit.
The creation of the world of the future is a spiritual and internal process.
Living in the new world, in a sanctuary, is a state of the consciousness. The new world is born everywhere, but beyond boundaries and conditions. The old world and the new world are distinguished through consciousness, not by outer evidence. Age and circumstance bear no importance.
You establish your inner sanctuary wherever you live. We had already talked about this concept in the broadcasting The Path of the Inner Temple. This is the next indispensable basis of our great project. If you are unable to build and fill with life the temple of the new world within you yourself, you will certainly not succeed to erect it on the material level either.
Establishing the temple in the heart is the first step in creating the new world.
Of course, in the material world you will fail over and over again. You do each day what you can. More is not required. The main thing is, you must never give up the foundation on which you stand, the sanctuary in your heart.
The new world is within you.
There it is to be built and to be defended. Only if you yourself are constantly living in your inner temple can you take the next step and transform your surroundings into a sanctuary. You must first put your own life in order before you can proceed to establish a higher order in the world. We now come to the decisive step. Your personal contribution to building the world of the future is:
you transform your home into a stronghold of the new world. How do I have to proceed practically? You join our movement and enlist as another confederate in the Federation Temple of Humanity.
This is how you become part of the great plan. However, with us there are no passive, merely supporting members, no non-voting preference shares. Only those can participate who make an active and practical contribution to the new construction. That means
the world of the future will become a material reality when more and more individuals set up there where they live a settlement, an outpost of the Federation Temple of Humanity.
the Temple of Humanity, the Kingdom of Shambhala, is for the time being an ideal which for the most part exists on the subtle plane only. Like everything subtle, like every idea, it strives to be embodied on earth as a material reality.
The kingdom of Shambhala remains unfinished as long as its lowest, the physical level, is not fully established, as long as it does not have a broad material base. You cause Shambhala to become a material reality, at least in one place in the world, in your home.
Do you realize at all what a gigantic task that is? Your house becomes a place where, as in Shambhala, the conditions of all three worlds prevail. You realize the unity of the worlds, and thus heaven on earth, in your home.
Shambhala is the indispensable site where the spiritual world unites with the material one. In the mountain dwelling, the gates to the spiritual world are open. But to work there where the spirit has descended into matter, the conditions of both planes must be met.
The plan of Agni Yoga is
there where you are living and working, you establish your own higher world. Each spirit creates his own world, and the beauty or ugliness of the created world depends upon the quality of consciousness.
This is the beginning of a new era, the world of the future, even if initially only with you and a few others.
How do I set up such a stronghold? I have written Little Shambhala on my door sign. How do I fill this ideal with life?
You submit to the rule of the Brotherhood of Shambhala.
You become a citizen of Shambhala, of the Federation Temple of Humanity.
The world of the future gains a new citizen. You are sworn in on the Constitution and promise to abide by the laws of the state to which you belong from now on. You change your citizenship, at least in spirit. Your loyalty to your former state, people, nation, and family largely ends. It now relates first and foremost to the Mahatmas.
Once children of many races, now men of one race, the race of the Universal Brotherhood. Once subjects to many kings, citizens of many countries, now subjects of one king, citizens of one country, the kingly Hierophant and the country of the Great White Lodge. Your home becomes a part of the national territory of Shambhala, of the Federation Temple of Humanity.
From now on, it will be ruled from Shambhala. Here reigns, as the highest head of government, Mahatma M.
By your accession, the territory of the world state of the future is expanded. What exactly shall I do? You introduce at your home the 7 principles of the new world: truth, justice, beauty and love, selflessness, service to the common good, and hierarchy.
These few dry words are in reality the program for a peaceful revolution. You overcome the terrible relativism which prevails everywhere today, which knows nothing for certain, does not firmly believe in anything, drags everything down into the mud, and for which nothing is sacred, which claims that there are as many truths and justices as there are people, which no longer dares to make any distinction and prevents even the ugliest fabrications as art. In your house, there is only one truth and only one justice, and you enforce them. In your place, you fight for beauty and harmony, that is, for conformity with the cosmic order. We want to form communities that submit to the world government of the Mahatmas. If you wish to take part and apply for admission, you must first prove that you alone can live according to the commandments of the Brotherhood. If you do not even manage to achieve that in your own private rooms, you will certainly not succeed under the much more difficult conditions of a larger group of people, let alone of the world community.
Your home is a place of purity and solemnity in the midst of a depraved world.
At least here, if nowhere else, the cosmic order, the law of hierarchy, the higher divine will reigns. You do not admit anything unclean. You do not allow anything low, such as quarrel and desires, egotism, irritability, coarse and ugly thoughts, words or deeds. As in heaven, so on earth. That what is not allowed in heaven, for example alcohol, is not allowed with you either. That what applies in heaven applies at your place as well. Every visitor who enters your realm must adapt to the customs that are in force here, as the English say so nicely.
My home is my castle.
Thereby they express, at least in your private sphere, you are the unrestricted ruler. Here, nobody else than you has to decide. In this realm, you are the king, and enforce the rules and customs of Shambhala. You watch over compliance with the higher laws and do not tolerate any deviations. You do not allow your sanctuary to be desecrated by unworthy behavior.
In your house, you are the representative of the hierarchy, who is responsible for the observance of the cosmic order.
In earlier, better days, there were many strongholds of the Brotherhood scattered all over the world, including in India, Egypt, Russia, England, France, Italy and Germany. when the situation deteriorated, the masters were forced to dissolve all these ashrams and to withdraw the few remaining co-workers to the main bulwark in the Himalayas.
Many ashrams were transferred to the Himalayas because the atmosphere of other locations had become intolerable. The last Egyptian ashram was transferred to the Himalayas because of the well-known events in Egypt and the adjoining regions. At the beginning of Armageddon, all the ashrams had to be gathered together in the abode in the Himalayas. We must gradually reverse this ill-fated development.
To do this, we have to start all over again and build new settlements in many places. You contribute to this by turning your home and workplace into an outpost of Shambhala.
I still don't quite understand. What exactly is changing in my life? Which laws and customs am I to introduce?
A crucial question. The order which you establish in your home is shaped by the 10 pillars of the practice of Agni Yoga, namely by selflessness, service to the common good, and integration into the hierarchy. We shall go into more details later in this broadcasting. Every morning you pronounce 7 times the words Moriya Maitreya as a sign of your submission to the rule of the Mahatmas.
You raise the banner of the Federation every morning. Yes, really, I am serious. Roll it up in the evening, unfold it in the morning, and put it on your desk or hang it on the wall. You put a picture with the portrait of Mahatma Moriya in a prominent position, just as a photograph of the head of state hangs in every government office around the world. There can be no unworthy behavior under his image, before his face. Living and working under the picture, in the presence and in the spirit of the brotherhood, is the foundation of the new world.